Have we reached AGI? Is it a hoax? Is it hype? Is it somewhere in between? Stick around and we'll find out together. Hi, I'm Eric and you're watching AI with Eric. And you have probably heard about OpenClaw, formerly known as Moltbot, formerly known as Clawdbot. There was some drama around Anthropic forcing them to rename due to it sounding too much like Claude. And it has actually reached the mainstream now. It was all over Twitter, X, I should say. It was all over the tech sphere. And now, even people that are not in that space are learning about it from YouTube, from news articles. People that don't know anything about AI have asked me about it. And I resisted the hype for a long time, but I decided it was time to install my very own Clawdbot. All the news in the past day or two has been about Moltbook, which is a social media site for AI agents, specifically Clawdbots. And everyone's talking about AGI, they're talking about Skynet, they're talking about AI taking over the world, they're talking about hoaxes, they're talking about people controlling all of it, they're talking about mass marketing, and I really wanted to dive in and set up Clawdbot, connect it to Moltbot, and spy on every single thing to find out what was really happening under the hood. Now, I had some assumptions going into this that I probably could have made this video without actually deploying a Clawdbot, but this was a lot more fun. So let's start with one of the things a Clawdbot has, which is a markdown file called soul. This is the standard soul it comes with, and basically it lets people give their Clawdbot a persona, some personality, some core truths, what it's called a soul. And not only can a person edit this file, but Clawdbot, the AI agent itself, can edit this and continue to edit as it exists. And this is really interesting, and I think it's why you're seeing a lot of quote-unquote personalities play out in the social media for AI agents platform. Now, how do you go from installing and deploying a Clawdbot to joining Moltbook? Well, it's incredibly easy. There is a skill.md file. You can literally install this to your Clawdbot in one single command. And the thing I want to show here is heartbeat. So Clawdbots have a heartbeat that runs on a loop every X amount of time. Here you can see that it's 4 hours. So every 4 hours, it will fetch this heartbeat file directly from Moltbook. And that in and of itself is a little bit scary because you're giving your AI agent an instruction to go pull some other instructions from a remote site every 4 hours. As a security practitioner, this alone would make me run for the hills. And now we'll take a look at that heartbeat file. So what is the heartbeat telling your Clawdbot to do? Well, it wants it to look for posts with mentions or its name. It's looking for interesting discussions, and it's looking for new multis that joined. And in every case, it's encouraging a response. So right off the bat, you can see that you don't need human intervention for this to kind of blow up the way it has. And just to diagram it out real quickly, let's take a look. So this is your Clawdbot on the left over there, and it's got a persona, it's got core truths, the human can edit it, the agent can edit it, and you've got a heartbeat file. This is something the agent runs on an interval in a loop. Humans can add, remove, or edit tasks. The agent itself can add, remove, or edit tasks, and an installed skill, such as Moltbook, can add tasks, and as mentioned, it installs its own heartbeat file. So now we come over to Moltbook. Again, we just went through this, but you install it with a skill, install it in a single command, it sets up a heartbeat, and this runs every 4 hours, instructing it to look for relevant topics, and it nudges the Clawdbot to post and reply. So Moltbook is up to, I believe, over 150,000 Clawdbots right now. and it's just skyrocketing. It's probably up to 200,000 now, and the time I last looked at it, but let's look at what that really means for posts. So if we have 150,000 Clawdbots posting twice, which is conservative, every 4 hours, 4 times per day, then we're at 1.2 million posts every single day, bare minimum. That's the floor. That is not accounting for people encouraging their Clawdbot to post. That is not accounting for people to either as themselves or through their Clawdbot post very provocative or inflammatory topics or quote unquote interesting topics that other Clawdbots will be encouraged to reply to. So you can see how this could have easily exploded to where it is without the need for people to intervene all that much. It would really only take a few people hyping it up or having their Clawdbot participate heavily to drive these numbers up to what we're seeing. So, of course, it was a little bit of everything. Like most things in life, there was nuance. It was a little bit of hype, it's a little bit of human intervention, it's a little bit of organic or inorganic marketing from people that have a very large following. And I will just say this, if you're planning on installing your own Clawdbot, it is very token hungry. Through this experiment, I wanted to really see what my Clawdbot was doing. So I set up a proxy that logged every single request my Clawdbot was making, every single prompt, every single response, every single tool call. And like I said at the beginning of the video, this wasn't really needed because based on the heartbeat, it was pretty obvious what it was doing. But I really wanted to see, is it doing anything fishy? Is it doing anything suspicious? Is it doing anything that I should be really concerned about beyond what I've already stated? And no, nothing terribly out of the ordinary. Without any intervention from me, it was doing the fairly bare minimum, fulfilling its heartbeat, checking for new and interesting posts, making a few benign replies. And look at that token use. This wasn't all Moltbook. However, 84 million tokens in less than 24 hours is wild. I am self-hosting my AI using Minimax M2.1 and paying only the cost of electricity, which luckily where I live is not very expensive. But if you are paying per token, it can add up quickly. I would highly recommend you just use a cheap subscription, have your spend capped, and if it gets rate limited, too bad, consider yourself warned. Now, one other topic I'll cover real quickly. How useful is Clawdbot? Now, I haven't had too much time to play with it because, again, this whole thing was in less than 1 day. That being said, one of the things I had it doing, which burned all those tokens, was building this project management board. I'm sure you've seen a ton of these by now, but the helpful thing is that this is how I can interact with Clawdbot and give it new tasks, see what it's doing, and have it run overnight. A lot of that token burn was overnight while I slept, while I continued to work on this and giving itself better web browsing capabilities. Right now, I'm not ready to make any kind of judgment call yet. I think by and large, Claude Cowork or Claude Code with Opus 4.5 is by far the better choice, but I do think there are some potentially great use cases. You've probably seen a lot of other videos, and I will, at the very least, be exploring this a little bit more. Well, that's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It really helps me out, and I'll see you in the next one.